The moon cast an eerie pallor over the desolate town of Ravensbrook, its streets echoing with the memories of long-forgotten souls. Deep within the heart of this forsaken place lay an abandoned morgue, a place shrouded in legend and dread. As midnight descended, a lone figure, David, ventured into the darkness. His footsteps echoed ominously as he explored the dilapidated morgue. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the walls bore silent witness to the countless autopsies performed here. In a shadowy corner, David stumbled upon a rusted door, creaking open with reluctant surrender. Beyond it, he discovered an untouched chamber. In the flickering candlelight, he saw an old metal gurney, its surface smeared with dried blood. Upon it lay a corpse, still preserved despite the years of neglect. The skin was pallid, veins visible like twisted vines, and the eyes sealed shut. David couldn't help but wonder why such a well-preserved body would be hidden away. David's curiosity got the better of him. He decided to inspect the body more closely. As he did, he noticed peculiar scars and incisions on its chest, forming a grotesque pattern. The scalpel-like precision hinted at a dark experiment, one that defied explanation. A sense of unease gripped him, but he couldn't tear his eyes away. With trembling hands, he reached out and touched the cold, clammy skin. At that moment, the room seemed to grow colder, and David's breath misted in the air. Suddenly, the corpse's eyes snapped open, revealing milky white orbs that seemed to suck the very light from the room. A guttural moan escaped its lips, and its bony hand clamped around David's wrist with a grip like iron. Panic surged through him as he struggled to break free. The corpse, or whatever it had become, sat up with unnatural agility, its jaw hanging slack. Its voice, like a chorus of the damned, whispered, "Release me." David managed to free himself from the corpse's grasp and stumbled backward. The room began to spin, and the walls seemed to close in around him. The corpse's eyes bore into his soul, and he could hear its voice echoing in his mind. Days turned to nights as David's descent into madness continued. He couldn't escape the haunting whispers, the feeling of being watched. He became obsessed with the corpse, convinced that it held the key to some dark secret, a secret that threatened to consume him. As David dug deeper into the morgue's history, he discovered a horrifying truth. Decades ago, a deranged scientist named Dr. Malachi had performed forbidden experiments on the dead, seeking to unlock the secrets of life and death. The corpse on the gurney was the result of one such experiment, a grotesque fusion of science and the supernatural. Determined to end the nightmare, David returned to the morgue armed with ancient texts and rituals he had unearthed. He stood before the corpse, reciting incantations that sent shivers down his spine. The room seemed to quake, and the corpse's eyes blazed with a fiery light. In a final desperate act, David drove a silver dagger through the creature's heart. With a deafening scream, the corpse disintegrated into dust, leaving behind only a foul stench and a sense of dread that would haunt David for the rest of his days. With the creature's destruction, Ravensbrook's morgue fell into further disrepair, a place forever tainted by the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. David, scarred both mentally and physically, left the town, vowing never to speak of the nightmarish encounter. But the legend of the morgue and its dark secrets lived on, a chilling tale whispered by those brave enough to venture into the shadows of Ravensbrook. And on moonlit nights, the echoes of that dreadful night could still be heard, a reminder that some secrets are best left buried in the cold, unforgiving earth.